Rich people are a topic of conversation amongst the leps and the libs, the left and the libs, the leps. That's a new terminology that I'll be using nowadays. But Chloe, with all of this news swirling around Mamdani being a total socialist there in New York City, turns out he's comes from a lot of money. How much money? I think we knew he came from money. I was unaware by how rich he was. All I've got to say is I wish my parents were rich enough for me to be a socialist, because that would mean I'm extraordinarily wealthy. Well, news is coming out about his wedding that happened in February in Uganda, where there were 20 armed security using cell phone jammers, super strict list. I mean, I don't know. I've been to my fair share of weddings. That's usually not the case unless the person is exceedingly wealthy. Chloe, why is it that all of the extremely lib, highly socialist people out there, especially in this country, happen to come from just an absurd amount of money?
Well, their playbook's socialist. I mean, there's nothing that differs from any socialist agenda ever in history than what these people are presenting to us. I mean, it's very obvious the man is a socialist, and it's sickening because honestly, I'm from Texas. I'm not a New Yorker, but I have grown to love New York over the past few months that I've been there, and I'll say it's absolutely sickening to see the idea of the city going even further downhill from where it is now. And with someone like that in office, it's going to be, I don't want to say the fall of America. I think if Texas falls, we all fall. I think New York is already close enough, that we can still hang on here. But the point being is that, seeing New York, which is kind of like an image of Americanism, fall to a socialist Muslim is sickening to me. And so, I mean, I think it's very, very, it's not unusual for him to be a socialist and for him to be exceedingly rich, but it's sickening. That's all I can say about that.
Mike, during that debate that they had, they all said what their rents were. And he was like, I live in a rent controlled apartment and I paid this much. I'm not poor, thank God, but I'm also not rich. I see that as I'm a rich person, Mamdani, rich person, cosplaying as a poor person. And to me, I go, dude, use the money you have. What are you doing? This is crazy. I mean, do you think that sort of thing resonates with people? Is that why he's got so much traction? What's going on there?
Well, he's in the rent-controlled apartment in New York. And when I first heard that, I said, all right, this is some bum who's never had a job, or,
Yeah.
He's working. He came to the country and he's working middle income, trying to make it. He's a socialist. All right. And then I found out that he grew up and went to private school for $80,000 a year on the Upper East Side. And I said, he's stealing from the constituents that he says he wants to represent and help. He's literally stealing an apartment that should go to one of these people who are so desperately beat down that they want socialism. He should give up his apartment and go move in a $10,000 a month apartment on the Upper East Side where he belongs. It's a joke. And by the way, this wedding, okay, I bet you the food was really good. I don't know how the food is in Uganda, but I bet the food was pretty good. And I want to know if they all got equal socialist rations like they would at the government-run grocery stores that he wants to open up in New York City. Did they all get their little piece of bread and a little piece of chicken and bug-based pudding? Was it all equal? Was it socialist? I doubt it.
I think if it was a socialist menu there, nobody would have any food. They'd all be starving and probably very upset that one, they had to go to Uganda, and two, there was no food. Guys, I got to keep this pretty quick for time purposes here. But the Trump administration had a case get thrown out on sanctuary city policy in Chicago. Federal judge said, appointed by Biden, said, no, you can't make the local law enforcement cooperate with ICE. Real quick thoughts, Chloe, what do you think about this?
Again, it's ridiculous. I think, ICE has every single right to be throwing out every single illegal immigrant in our nation. And so, it's so funny to me when the left comes at people like Trump and, other conservatives and says, oh, who's going to scrub your toilets? And it's like, well, how racist can you get? And so I think that seeing these kind of, messages from the left and seeing how they value illegal immigrants should just be every other, it's very well placed argument, I would say, to say that they have no place in America, especially if they're here illegally. We don't need them here to clean up after us. That's no reason to keep someone here. And so if they love America, get a citizenship, stay here. And if not, then we don't need to have sanctuary cities dedicated to them.
Yeah, sounds about right. Mike, I see the pondering hand of hopeful snark and sarcasm. Go ahead with your thoughts.
I'm waiting for a judge to say, these district judges, I'm waiting for them to say, you know what? Trump has to vacate office. I'm waiting for them to say, you know what? The trade deal is null and void. I'm waiting for a district judge to rule on anything at this point. Congress passes the one big beautiful bill. District judge steps in and said, no, we must reverse the one big beautiful bill. It's like everything that's ever been done in the history of politics and presidents ever is getting revoked by district judges. Have we ever seen anything like this? The answer is absolutely not.
It's ridiculous. You know, personally though, we had a vote in my household last night that our household will be a sanctuary from federal income tax. I'm hoping a judge sides with me on that because I shouldn't have to cooperate with the IRS, who just these mean people trying to take all my money, which actually is a thing that I may actually agree with.